I'm Maria Fagan Hassani, and I own and operate Learning Link. I'm so glad you decided to join us today. I've been talking to parents lately, and what we've been talking about is homework. Countless hours spent at the dining room or kitchen table doing homework. And there's little, as I like to say, bang for their buck. Children's grades in school or participation or scores on tests don't really reflect the amount of time that is spent doing homework. So what I'd like to do today is offer a few suggestions that may take a little bit of the tension out of homework time and or make it a little bit more productive. So the first suggestion I'd like to offer is that you actually set a routine time in your day that your children work on homework. So for example, if you have a middle schooler, you may want to say a couple of hours from 4 to 6 every day, Monday through Thursday, is homework time. So I'd post that somewhere at home so that everybody knows that from 4 to 6 you work on homework. And obviously, homework for that evening gets done first, and then after that, they can spend time getting ahead, previewing what's coming next, or if there's absolutely nothing to do, which isn't often the case, but if it was, you could read a book together or play an instructional game together. There's always something that can happen during that time that is focused on learning. Also, during that 2-hour period, 4 times a week when you're working with your child, obviously if your child is in elementary school it would be less, but the point is during that routine time I would use a timer to structure the time that kids are working on assignments. You can use the timer on your iPhone, or you can also use something that's called a time timer that looks just like this. What's cool about this tool is that you can actually see time. As you extend the time period, you get more and more red. So for example, if you wanted to work on an activity that was 15 minutes in length, you'd set the time timer for 15 minutes, and as that 15 minutes elapsed, the red would get less and less. What's really cool about this is that kids can see the time counting down, so they get a visual on how long 15 minutes really is. This is an excellent tool for kids who are time challenged. The other suggestion I'd like to give is regarding reading comprehension, which is always a time suck. It takes a lot of time to read and do reading comprehension questions. So what I like to suggest first is that before you actually do the reading, go to the end and read the comprehension questions with your child first before they attempt the reading. This does a lot to set the tenor and the purpose for reading. And so then after you've read those questions, you can go back through the chapter, the section, whatever is supposed to be read, and look for where you think you may find the answers. Don't look for the specific answer, but sort of get a sense of where the answer for those questions may live in that text. This will also lead yourself into previewing, where you can look at the section headings, the title of the chapter, the captions, the vocabulary. You can offer what you may know about the concept. The child can talk about what they think they might know. It sort of sets a scaffolding or a net for the reading to fall in, and hopefully eliminates children just reading through for reading's sake, but rather adding to that net or scaffold of knowledge they already have. And as they're reading along, as they find answers to those comprehension questions that have to be answered at the back of the chapter, you can put a sticky or highlight so that they know exactly where to go to get the information for the questions to answer at the back of the chapter. It may work out that that is enough for the child. You have read along with them, checked for comprehension along the way. Don't wait till the end to check for comprehension. That's way too late. Do it after each section or after a couple of minutes to make sure that the child is comprehending the whole way through. But after you've done that with the child and found the answers to the questions, they may be able to answer the questions on their own. I would check to make sure that really can happen, but oftentimes the child has enough knowledge, has enough information, they can go ahead and do the comprehension questions on their own. The last suggestion that I'd like to offer you is that if you find homework is taking countless hours in the evening, longer than an hour for an elementary school child and longer than 2 hours for a middle schooler, I would strongly recommend that you alert the teacher. Go and have a conversation with them about how much time your child is spending on homework. They may not actually be able to make any changes without having a meeting, an IEP, an individualized education plan in place, or at least a meeting. But very often teachers are really responsive to this, and they may say for an elementary school kid, spend 20 minutes on reading, 20 minutes on math, and 20 minutes on spelling, and call it a day for homework. You might find that that's the response they get, but at the very least, the teacher will know that the child is struggling with homework, and that may be the beginning of getting the help for your child that they need. I hope that you found these tips helpful, and if you have, please be sure to sign up for my e-zine and my blog, where I routinely send out tips like this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I look forward to continuing the conversation.